What have we been looking at? We've been looking at points on the X and Y axis. Maybe the distance between those 2 points. If you want to know the distance between the 2 points, you go to your log tables, you just learn how to read your log tables. Use your length or distance formula here, and you'll be able to get the distance between 2 points. Maybe you want to be able to find the slope, how steep that line is. Well, then you go to your log tables, you get your slope formula, and you'll fill that in, and it'll tell you with a numerical value, oh, that's a steepness of level 3, or that's a steepness of level 2, or a minus half, or a minus 1.5, or a minus 4. Maybe you want to know the point in the middle. Well, then you get your midpoint formula and you fill it in. You could be given the equation of a line, like maybe, you know, if I told you the equation of this line is x plus y equals 12. Well, you can tell me that the point 6,6 is on that. You can tell me that the point 10,2 is on it, that 11,1, 111, 13 minus 1 is on it, and you should be able to plot your line. The other thing that we might be able to do is see where it cuts the x-axis. What do you know about that point there? Well, we don't know the x-coordinate, but we know the y-coordinate is 0. So if the y is 0, what plus 0 equals 12? 12. So we know that's actually the point 12 there. Sorry, not the point 12, but the 12 on the x-axis. So it cuts the x-axis at 12, 0. And off you go and try and figure out where it cuts the y-axis. What do we know about where something cuts the y-axis? Well, it's 0 something. So the x is 0. So 0 plus what gives me 12? So that's 0, 12. So that's what we've been kind of looking at so far. Now I want to have a look at, maybe if I give you enough information, you'll be able to tell me the equation of the line. Because so far, I've been giving you the equation or the name of the line. Now we want to work another way. I want to give you maybe some points. So maybe I'll tell you that the equation of, well, I'm going to ask you for the equation. Okay, so I'm going to ask you for the equation of this line. Now, what can you tell from the diagram? You can tell that the point 4, 0 is on the line. You can tell that the point 0, 2 is on the line. How do I find the equation of that line? Again, if you can't figure it out in your head, go to the log tables and see if there's anything that will help. And there is. There's 2 things here that will help. There's 2 here. I'm just going to take the top one. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to do my best to fill it in. Okay? Now, that means that I need to understand what all this stuff is. So what's M? If I go back here, do I see an M? I do. M is slope. So I need to get the slope of that line. I need to use this information to get the slope. And when I have it, that's what I'll put in here. If you look at any equation of a line, it has an x and a y in it, so I'm not expecting to fill in anything there or there. x1, y1 is a point on your line. So do I have a point? Yeah. Right, so let's start labeling. So here's the first point that I come across. I'm going to call that x1. I'm going to call that y1, x2, y2. y minus y1 is equal to the slope, I don't have that yet, I'll get it in a second now, x minus x1. How do I get the slope? Now this is actually, it's quite a long enough process here. So slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And what does that work out to be? It ends up being minus a half. So y equals, so because y minus 0 is just y, and then minus a half bracket x minus 4. I'm just going to multiply that out because I can. My algebra allows me to do that, and I end up with y equals minus x minus a half x, and then plus a half times 4 is 2. So it might look a bit different to the one you've been looking at over here, the types that you've been looking at, but it is the equation of a line. I wonder, can you tell me a point on that line besides the ones that we already have here? I mean, maybe you don't like it looking like that. Maybe you'd like it to have all whole numbers in it. Well, if that's the case, see, I want to get rid of my 2, well then I'm going to multiply everything by 2. You don't have to do this now, I'm just doing this because maybe you want this to look a bit more normal. I'm going to add 1x to both sides. Okay, maybe now it looks better. Maybe you prefer it looking like this. Now they're the same thing. I didn't do anything to them except, you know, what I did to the left, I did to the right. So they're actually the same information. Now, are you happy that that point 0, 2 is on that line? 0 for the x, 2 for the y. Yeah. Are you happy that the point 4, 0 is on that line? 4 for the x and 2 for the y. No. So, have we missed something? Have we worked it out incorrectly? So 4 for the x, and sorry, 0, so 4, 0. 4 for the x and 0 for the y is 4. So does that work? 0, 2. Sorry. I never multiplied everything by 2. Sorry. So just back here, I need to multiply this by 2. I got 2y. I need to multiply this by 2. I got that. And I need to multiply this by 2. That was bad maths out of me. Just shows you can just make tiny little errors. Okay, so this is a 4. And it was good that I double checked there. So now, is this point on this line? 0 for the x, 2 for the y. 0 plus 2 times 2 equals 4. Yes, it is. Is the point 4, 0 on this line? 4 plus 2 times 0 is equal to 4. Yes. Sorry. But it is good that you double check things. Now, that's a lot to take in. So I want you to go back through that video, make sure you're very, very happy with it. And when you're happy, I want you to try and find the equation of the following line. So that's the point 60, and this is the point 03. And you can connect them. And I want you to find the equation of this line. Go to your log tables, get your formula, and fill it in. I'm going to just go back through this a little bit. So you had your 2 points, you called them x1, y1, x2, y2. You went to your log tables and you got your equation of your line formula. This is what you're supposed to do. Remember, every equation of a line or name of a line seems to have an x and a y in it. Maybe not all of them do, but they seem to. So I'm not going to fill in the x or the y because I want those in the equation. X1 and Y1 I have. M, when I looked at my log tables, was the slope. So I had to go over here and I had to find the slope. When I had all that done, filled in, I multiplied out, just cleaned it up. Maybe you don't like it looking like this, so carefully, because I wasn't careful enough there, carefully clean it up a little bit more until you feel it looks nicer, and then maybe check, is that definitely the right equation for that line? And that's what I was doing. I was subbing back in and checking. I want you to do it for this line.